As we go into Warriors versus RDG, let's cut the music as we go into this. Let's see how Warriors plans to attack Dasuo Fort versus RDG's defense. Let's see if RDG is going to be doing any style. Starting with a lot of rats. A lot of rats by RDG. Very interesting. Very interesting. Warriors bringing also a fair chunk of units themselves. Mostly 4 or 5 units. There's some with 3, but a lot of units being brought by both sides. Both sides favoring the 4 unit comp position. Looking at, did you know why is Warriors not bringing that many shields? I'm going through this list and I don't see that many shields brought by Warriors. A little confused as how they planned that out compared to RDG bringing a lot of shields. Quite a few of them bringing triple shields. Looks like they might have their people split off of like a front line of shields. Most people always bring shields, and some people always bring DPS units. A little bit interesting there in terms of like how they might be planning out their compositions. Definitely with some of their heavy armors, like their short swords and long swords, running the shields in the engagement. You know, those heavy front line. Oh, sorry, I'm itching my leg. It's making it hard to speak. It's a good itch. This is where we go in. Let's see if RDG does any sally. I doubt they will with how heavy Rattan Pike spam they are, but it's also kind of weird to start this many rat pikes in a composition. Looking fairly confused. They are gathered at the gate, but we are sallying. We are ooh, big ballista by RDG getting bombed already out of the fight. Treb coming in, doesn't look like it will be hitting anything on RDG. Not much selling out here. Coolier does go out, tries to find something here. RDG still on the ballistas, finding. Coolier does a side swipe, doesn't look like it finds that much, as now Warriors and RDG fight on this supply, but just heavy rats. There's just so many rats here. The fucking sewer rats are going everywhere, but it looks like Warriors is just very quickly clearing them up. Not really, these rats are not able to get the value maybe that RDG is looking for. The Coolier tried to get in there and doesn't look like it will be able to do anything. The Vipers also raining down their poison on Warriors. It looks like Warriors actually able to clean up that push very quickly, and it's actually doing a reverse sallying in through the gate, immediately reversing the rolls on RDG, and RDG doesn't look like they really have the units to be able to defend this sally, and they were not able to close the gate. Now Warriors has a foothold in there. These cannons by RDG will not be able to do that much in here. It's going to be very interesting to see how exactly they plan to do this. RDG pulling from the B side supply. Warriors maybe a little confused here. Maybe that has been this situation before, kind of wondering where to push. They are pushing up this main left side stairs. I don't know how you just say it. Modal a little bit far forward here, might get punished. Doesn't look like they are punished for their sins of walking up. Warriors now going up the other staircase. Very interesting. Now they're getting hit by a little bit of the Vipers there. They get a little bit of poke damage that they probably don't want to be taking, especially when they do not have Shoots a Dinger, Paladins, or any other kind of healing in there. Not even a longsword on any of Warriors. Treb coming in here doesn't look like it connects with too much there. Shoots a Dinger by RDG go in way early. That was Shoots a Dinger healing quite literally the air that got damaged. I mean, I know I love having good air cannons. Now firing into the Warriors. Blob Warriors going in there. Doppel Sounders doing a big AoE silence in there as Warriors now pushes into this blob, but they're struggling to really get through it. Looks like RDG is holding strong. Now Warriors actually getting into the back. The cannons fire one more time, but hopefully Warriors gets to be able to destroy them, as well, RDG is rotating their units back, and Warriors will not be able to destroy the cannons as these cannons continue firing into a Warriors blob. The Phalanx doing funny damage numbers. Another double sound of silence comes off, but everything's not really engaged here. Not much engagement by either side's happy. Phalanx now rotating back. Looks like the cannons might be out of it. No, the cannons not running out of it. So they do turn the corner and get another blast off as RDG now pushes off from behind the A point. It's sending these Stalwarts into the Phalanx. Need these Spartans to come in and help these Phalanx out. These Stalwarts doing massive damage to the Phalanx. Actually, the Phalanx pushing back into the Stalwarts as the Spartans now also help the Phalanx get wonderful damage into this blob fight. Let's zoom in the map so that we have that as well. So, fight still breaking out over this A point. Warriors doing a really good job of keeping it clear, but RDG bringing in the Ratan the Bikeman. But the rats don't look like they're doing much. These Phalanx are repressing 2 on cooldown. Doesn't look like they're getting 1-1 beat at all. They're just kind of pressing 2 on cooldown. Unfortunate for them. But now the Berserkers come in looking very sketch. Doesn't look like Warriors will be able to full clear the point there. Amazing job by Warriors, but RDG also sallying out with a York and a Liao. Warriors responding with their own York. It doesn't look like the Yorks will contact with the Liaos, but will get that short sword with his Yorks. A little bit confused with these Liaos. They don't know exactly what to do. It looks like he's going for the Raton pikes on the tower. Doesn't look like that our tower pusher is pressing V, so he's losing a lot of rat pikes to these Liaos. Looks like RDG does get back on the point. Doesn't stalling out this point as long as they possibly can. Also doing another sally. The Liaos tries to go in. The Phalanx will connect and kill those Liaos quite easily, as Warriors is cleaning up amazingly well here on the point, not losing really any units. Still, this Phalanx is alive and kicking as their Spartans are doing amazing pushes. A little bit confused as this Spartans kind of pushing into the area, stab the wall. I hate that wall too, Spartans. I hate that wall too. Trebuchet comes in on the right side of the A point. Doesn't look like it will hit connect. Does look like actually it will connect. Let's get 2 great balls of fire into the A point. But that is all it looks. But that Spartan's now all by itself. The Bastard Sword tries to go into that Stalwart unit. Is there supply blocking happening? What's going on back there? Doesn't know really what's happening back there. Great job of that Bastard Sword distracting this longsword. This Stalwart unit is now stuck in combat. It will not be able to escape, as the longsword will have to abandon it for death. As Warriors wins the A point. 7.5 minutes on the clock. 1300 to 800. Amazing play by Warriors getting that A push, that 8 point in there. Definitely a little sloppy there. Fight lasted maybe a little bit longer than they wanted to, but still an amazing win by Warriors. As RDG also looking very low on their units, losing a lot of their units there. To a point where it might be pretty hard for them to get back into this point. Let us see the unit count. Still have a lot of their golds and purple, so it's still fairly even there. So these fights might still be fairly even though Warriors has 1300 units, 200 of them are gray units, so it'll be a little bit rough there, but those gray units will help with kind of like stalling, but you don't really want to stall as a attacker, so I'm a little bit confused there, but it's okay. Double Coco by Warriors, definitely play to do here. Double Coco, we got Vipers. Warriors definitely has a more of a poke comp now. Double Vipers, double Coco. All right, yep, still double Coco, double shoots. We are double going to the supply point here. Hopefully someone's pulling out units. I think the shoots are pulling out for the Phalanx. Could play there. We do not need 2 shoots of Dinger. That's quite literally too much healing. The flaming comet goes into the warrior's blob. There doesn't look like it will find much. Trip comes in. This trip is a little sketchy. It could hit warrior's blob. Doesn't look like it does. As RDG actually being on the aggression here pushes into this, but it's only an ISG and a spear sergeant, maybe a little bit too aggro. What range just fire into this? It looks like it shoots a dinger. As now those shoots the spear sergeants and Spear Surgeons and ISU will go down as Warriors now pushes into RDG. Double Sounder Silence goes in, but doesn't look like it will get really any value there, as it looks like everything is still getting bad damage numbers in. The Zycalian Militia will be sniped down to 3 models. Actually, it does look like we still have a full unit as Warriors pushes straight through the flames, trying to hold, but the Zycalian Militia sniping them out as well. Warriors doing an amazing job pushing in here. Uh-oh, a little bit of friendly fire there. Maybe the RDG gets a flank in there. Amazing mortar by RDG gets a lot of Warriors ranged out of the fight, but Warriors heavy infantry is just pushing straight through this supply point. Amazing capture. Shoots a dinger, healing. A little bit late there. They are getting hit by their own artillery there, but this DB won't be able to do too much in his fight as Warriors now carries their momentum onto the C point. RDG looking really rough here, down to 470 units to 1179. Warriors just winning these blob fights so heavily. It's going to be amazing plays by Warriors. Looks like a short sword is finding the dual blade that got onto artillery. Will they be able to kill him is the question. Ken going in for the ult. Maybe missed? I don't know. What's your HP? Yeah, looks like the bastard sword Ken did miss his ult there. Unfortunate. But we go into this final point here. Warriors will be having around 9 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to do another artillery phase. They do still have 26 pieces of artillery left. Not really using that much artillery on A, B, or C fighting on these points here, which is definitely a interesting choice. Very interesting as we go into this fight here. 9.5 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for Warriors to do really whatever activity they so desire. If they want to play it slow in artillery phase, they can, but RDG not having that many units, the Warriors could just sprint in here and use grape shot ballistas to kind of clean up the fights very quickly. It looks like we are going to spend our time, replace some mortars, or spend our time doing an RD phase. RDG does place a mortar to counter them. To place 2 mortars to do a little bit of counter artillery, whereas looking like they aren't placing as much as previously shown. Treb comes in. Don't know what it was really hitting. Maybe there was an artillery piece there. Kind of hard to know. RDG sending a bastard sword into the back, maybe going for the berserkers. I don't know, there was nothing really there. I'm a little confused as to what he was going for, but I hope he got it. Warriors with double ISG is a very healthy tanky front line with the double flaming comet siege blitz. Is going to be very hard for RDG to really pressure these double ISG. Short sword going around trying to find value here. We're going to look at it from this angle because oh my, look at this mortar brigade. Holy smokes, Warriors is placing all of their mortars here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mortars by Warriors, along with 2 comets and a siege ballista. This is heavy artillery phase, and they still have 12 artillery after this. Still have plenty of artillery to do whatever activity. Short sword does get in and breaks 1 mortar, tries to go for the second mortar. Will he be able to get it? Bastard sword on top of him. Short sword is trying to do the damage. Liao's now on top of him. Does not find the second mortar. So fortunately that short sword will only find 1 mortar there. But that is still 1 less mortar of the artillery barrage that Warriors is going to be able to do. RDG putting a lot of their units in the spawn protection, realizing, hey, there's just so much artillery fire here. Let's hide a little bit as we now go. We're still taking the time. 7 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for them to continue this artillery barrage. RDG down to 3 artillery pieces. There's really nothing here for our warriors to snipe with their mortars. RDG placing a lot of their stuff far enough back to not be able to get one shoots a dinger model there is unfortunate. As now warriors pushes on to the home point. RDG placing a flaming comet. Warriors doesn't really have any artillery here for this end. They place a comet of their own. Yada instantly on that comet breaks it. Warriors now having the flames doing heavy damage. We have the ISG still in line formation. Not even going to cover commander, saying I can lie in formation against you guys. No sweat. As Warriors claims this point very quickly clearing it. Spartans still on the point as they know. Spartans now go down. We still have the ISG in line formation here, doing wonders. As now Warriors just cleans up house. Very quickly cleans it up as RDG just does not have the infantry remaining to fight Warriors on this point. The shoots of Dinger Healy coming in by Warriors, just making sure that nobody is dying here. And that will be Warriors winning it out. As we go over to our post-battle analysis, as you could see here, the Warriors, by all these death charts, you could see RDG just lost way more than Warriors every single fight. There was one point there during that sally that RDG got a little bit even, but they just lost every fight, which is just unfortunate there. As we go over the post-battle stats, Warriors. Amazing damage by Ken here, doing 1.8 million damage by Master Sword. Pretty damn good. But didn't get the 2 million, so like, let's go to the rest of these stats here. Looking like Warriors averaging more around that 400k mark. Okay, maybe more the 300k mark. We have a few people low. Or now RDG having the good old musket stat pad. So we go through the numbers, stats for nerds. If you're a nerd and you like stats, here you go. Fortunately, it does look like hard guy. Where's hard? That's returns. We do have some 90 kills, but that's okay. Let's go over the post-battle analysis. Post-battle. Boy, kind of over the replay, but that is the end of HL today. So you guys have seen every single match. We were just going to go over that match. Let's just have Warriors versus RDG, just like a little recap, so we can all relive it one more time. Again, amazing plays by Warriors. I gotta refresh my own broadcast. Amazing plays by Warriors getting into the victory there. Amazing. Hold on. Let me see if I can remember exactly who all won in this series. Okay. Congratulations by Hyperboreal winning. I believe Hyperboreal won. Yes. GTD versus DR. Congratulations by NP winning. Story Enjoyers winning. Lions winning. And Warriors winning. This will be the end of today. We're just going to go quickly over our post-battle kind of analysis here. But again, unless you like these post-battle analyses, there is no reason for you to stay here anymore. Thank you for all being here. And I will see you next Sunday for the next set of HLL matches as I slowly get my replay back into this. I'll just go over kind of how this went. The sally is... This is a very interesting sally. It is a good sally in for the most part because you're always going to try to trade up. It is like kind of... I'd say it's like an old season sally, right? Sallying with reds usually works, but I don't know how many people on Warriors are playing Flame Shackle, but there is 3 short swords. And if at least 2 of these short swords are playing Flame Shackle, you could just kind of see how fast these rats really die. It doesn't look like any of the short swords are trying to get in there and do damage, so maybe their short swords aren't running Flame Shackle. A little bit unfortunate there. But no Flank Skis getting there. Okay, so they probably do have a Flame Shackle, 1 or 2 Flame Shackles going in there and killing these rats, but these rats just don't do the damage you're kind of hoping for rats to do. Unfortunately, it's just a lot more healing. Yeah, they probably get a few units, but Warriors just had the quality there to not take that much damage to the Rattan pikemen. Then as we go into this A push, definitely a kind of a weird A push here. RDG never leaves behind Temple, which is one of the plays of all time that I am impressed by, that they just kind of stuck it there. They do have lions, so it makes sense that they stick it there. Amazing. Terrible shoots here. RDG's shoots just heal before the fight even starts. Like nothing's happening. We shoot heal. Still nothing's happening. Now something's happening. Would have loved to see the shoots. Wait, well, the Doppelsauter gets an amazing silence here. Looks like it's Warrior's Doppelsauter. I don't know how much it really helps. It does look like this Stalwart wasn't engaged, so that Stalwart just instantly dies. There was Maidens over here. Also, the Stalwart's just facing the wrong way. There's Maidens, but they're cover commanders, so they don't really mind being silenced. But it doesn't seem like that silence really hurt RDG that much. They do lose. Okay, the side Stalwart just never turns and faces the fight. This shoot player heals the building instead of the blob. Unfortunate by RDG's shoots. They do try to push out into Warriors, but principally, I think this is a great play by Phalanx, just having a Phalanx in this blob. Even, I don't know about 2 Phalanx, but having a Phalanx in this blob doing that, Phalanx doing amazing damage here, making it a little bit harder. Even though Warriors doesn't really have any shields left to stop RDG, I think I would have loved to see RDG be a little bit more aggressive here, because, you know, they have the shields and it's just Phalanx. So I would have loved to see RDG be a little bit more aggressive here as Warriors then get onto the point. No, Warriors doesn't seem like they're micro, their Phalanx. It doesn't really hurt them that much as they just spam 2, and it looks like that is doing just wonders. They don't need to be spamming the 1-1V micro. Looks like just 2 is apparently enough here. This fight somehow went from like RDG doing amazing to now all their shields are gone. So amazing plays by Warriors here, somehow getting RDG's shields gone. Let me go back. I want to kind of see how these shields evaporate. The Trev? No, the Trev doesn't really hit much. What happened? Do I miss something? Yeah, I guess they just didn't have as many shields as I thought. It is definitely that trickle effect where you have enough units to do great things. That Treb does hit like those stalwarts dead center, so that does amazing things. But RDG seems to trickle a little bit too much here, which allows Warrior Spartans here just to absolutely farm and kill CC the entire Spartan unit and clear that back push very quickly. The Treb comes in, doesn't look like that Treb will really do much. Maybe a little bit too much of a friendly Treb. It gets on the Berserkers. Surprisingly enough, it's a good Treb because we baited the Berserkers into that spot. It doesn't really hit them that much, but it still helps. As you can see now that Warriors has basically cleared this point, which is great by them, where RDG then goes for a Sally to kind of stop Warriors from getting back in. And Sally does do wonders of work, but Warriors just brings a lot of Phalanx in these comps, which really helps them not die to these random Sally members that try to come out and get any value. These phalanx doing amazing work, catching every Lao, every York, making it so that RDG just cannot do any Sally to stop the flood, and Warriors infantry on that A point just never dies. They have double Spartan phalanx. I'm impressed the phalanx is still alive through all of this, but it's doing something that I wish I could do with my phalanx. Amazing job by Chop Shushu there, keeping their phalanx alive as long as possible. And then also RDG tries to get in these stalwarts over here, but the fight was already over, so kind of losing that stalwart is very unfortunate. Let us cut to this C point. Now, the composition by Warriors is kind of funny here. If you look at it and you squint your eyes, we have double Shoots, double Zykes, double Viper, which is a really funny composition. But luckily, I think they swap off one of the Shoots at least. At least one of the Shoots. So they just have the Viper. It looks like they swap off of Vipers here. So it's double Zykes, Shoots, Viper. So it's not as special heavy as previously shown. I do enjoy RDG's aggression here, getting these Spear Sergeants and ISG in. But as you can see, nobody's here from RDG to help these two. This is just a plain Yala, go in, let's see what we can do. And what we can do is we can instantly die to the Warriors push. Those Spear Sergeants, those ISG, gone. Now they do still have an ISG remaining. We still have, you know, a Spear Sergeant left, but that's 2 units we could have kept for this fight here. I have no idea if these Doppelsnatters actually hit anything because of line of sight. It's very hard to tell. None of these units in here are units you can kind of tell what they're doing. It does look like the song went onto the roof, so probably got them, but you could see where Warriors just has this heavy pushing infantry. We got the 4 Reapers. We have 4 Reapers and an ISG that can continuously stay in that fight, pushing forward into them. Let's go over that one more time. We have a Stalwart there that took the initial damage, which will die out fairly quickly, but that's not important, as then the big blob of death of Warriors gets in there. There's Zycalian getting massive value, getting the flames out of the fight very quickly. Unfortunately, RDG's flames were not able to do the value you would like to see. Now, a member of RDG does get onto Warriors artillery and starts shooting them in the back, which definitely hurts, but when you're winning a fight by this much, you're okay with getting shot in the back by a mortar shot every once in a while. I was like, really, that mortar isn't going to do that much for RDG to get back in here. RDG even helping Warriors and using their shoots to heal the Warriors blob. Great team play by RDG, getting the shoots into the Warriors blob. Definitely topping them off. You love to see the team play by RDG. As we then go to the home point, with 9 minutes on the clock at home, with, as you saw, over 20 artillery pieces. The mortar brigade. It is so many mortars. I would have loved to see the chain dart by Warriors. I believe that's a Erupticus. Kind of deal with the RDG people that just keep walking in here. Like this short sword, able to, you know, break a mortar. Granted, it's a 1 mortar. Who cares? But that guy should never be back there to getting a mortar. He almost gets 2, which is spooky. But I get it. If I had 10 mortars down, I would want to be shooting them nonstop. Forget whatever my role's supposed to do. I'm going to shoot 10 mortars, and I'm going to feel great shooting these 10 mortars. Even if I don't hit anything, it's going to feel fun. and the Warriors then pushes onto the point. RDG tries to meet them, but once again, a little bit out of position. Benjita gets on there a little bit early. His team is still in the spawn. You still have plenty of capture points you can give, so a little bit too early. Flames doing amazing value, killing those stalwarts. Spartans try to get in. The Spartans do get their full walk off, as we have our line ISG holding the line as the great tower shields that they are. These tower shields never get out of goddamn line formation. RDG tries to get back in, but you could see where Warriors Cav kind of makes RDG's anti-cav kind of sit still and not able to walk forward, and RDG just didn't have the shields remaining to stop Warriors and their immense push onto the home point. Amazing play by Warriors getting into the spot.